you make it quick? Hurry up, boy.
Come on, let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the My Experience, Your Experience podcast. I'm Walker.
And I'm Lori.
And, Mom, today, what
day is it? Today is May 8th, and it is 4 days past
May 4th. Aren't we missing something?
Oh, what's special about May 4th?
May 4th. May the 4th be with... I get it. Yeah.
May the 4th be with you. Happy belated May the 4th be with you.
Yep.
We had a really great, fun May the 4th weekend.
Yep.
And before we jump into our conversation of this week, Walker and I just thought it would be fun to chat quickly about
what we did on May 4th.
What we did on May 4th weekend. So how did we start off the May the 4th weekend, Walker?
By having a lightsaber fitness...
wait, you jumped ahead. What did we do on the eve of May the 4th?
On the eve? You mean the morning of?
The 3rd, the night before. Where did we go the night before May the 4th?
Oh, that's right. We went to go see The Phantom Menace in theaters because it's back in theaters for a limited time only.
For the 25th anniversary. I'm not sure if it'll still be in the theaters by the time this airs, but yeah. Walker and I went to the 25th anniversary, and we had a really fun time. Yep. Mother, son, and nephew, because your cousin Andra came.
Yep. And
you guys got blue milkshakes.
Yeah, that was very good.
You got your 25th anniversary cup.
Yep.
And we watched The Phantom Menace in theaters.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the...
Duel of Fates always...
The Duel of Fates.
The Duel of Fates will always
just,
forever be my favorite part.
We listened to the... that song coming like 3 or 4 times on the drive.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times on the drive. It was cool.
Yeah.
So we were so excited. And we saw some friends dressed up.
Yep.
From some of the 501st and the Alderaan base members. And then the next morning, we got up.
We watched 2 episodes of Tales of the Empire.
3 episodes.
Was it 2?
I think we watched all the Barrett.
All the Morgan episodes?
All the Morgan episodes.
Yeah. Morgan was first, Barrett was second. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then we went to, and then we taught a kids kung fu class. Not
kung fu. I'm more like lightsabers and stuff.
Yeah. So normally on Saturday mornings, Walker and I teach a kids kung fu class, but we did lightsaber class since it was May the 4th.
Yep.
And then you went off to work.
I went off to work for a few hours.
And you were working at the Lego Boston Brick.
Boston Brick. And
they were having a Star Wars sale.
Big old Star Wars sale.
It was a very busy day.
Very busy.
I met up with a friend and had Star Wars cupcakes.
Yep.
And then I came back and I brought...
donuts. From Donut King.
What kind of donuts?
Star Wars donuts from Donut King.
Yes, a whole dozen of Star Wars donuts, and I shared them with Walker's coworkers.
Yep.
And then we came home and we watched the last 3 episodes.
With Barris.
Yep. And we watched those, and then the rest of the day I actually spent listening in on the Podathon, the Star Wars, the May the Wish
network.
Yeah, the SSW network.
Yep.
The May the Wish be.
I wasn't paying attention.
Oh my gosh,
You're the one.
I forget how they said it, but anyway, they had a podathon, so there was a bunch of podcasts that were shown for 12 hours straight, and they were raising money for Make a Wish. Yep. That's right, May the Wish be with you.
Yep.
I think it was, and that was a lot of fun. So we had a great May the 4th.
Yeah, we did.
So we hope you all had a great May the 4th. Did a lot of fun things. Oh, one thing we forgot. It was also Free Comic Book Day, and we stopped and we picked up some free comics.
Yep.
So we did that, but. Enough of Star Wars and Free Comic Book Day, because that is not what we're here to talk about. Today, this is episode 5, and we have a new topic, and this week is your week.
Yes,
so, Walker, what are we discussing this week?
Fallout.
Fallout Boy?
No, Fallout. I mean the Fallout, like, the game franchise.
The game
which has also been turned into a show now.
Yes. So, I think you're more... As with Halo, I think you're more the expert, so why don't you kick us off?
I know, I kick us off.
The game.
Yeah, where should I start?
Where did it all start, Walker?
Where did it all start? It started back in September 10th, 1997, when the first Fallout game ever
You weren't even born.
I was not even born, no. Yeah, those first 2 Fallout games are like...
You were not playing in my womb, because you weren't even in my womb at that point.
No.
Okay.
I was not. I feel like you can't even like play them anymore because of how old they are. Mm-hmm. But I'm very familiar with those first 2 games and
Did you play them?
No, because they're like sort of an RPG. They're way more like RPG, like Dungeons and Dragons sort of, and they're like on computers and such, but they're just so old that they're hard to run.
So how do you know about those? Or from like watching YouTube videos?
Oh yeah.
I think that's why Walker knows most of his video games. There's so many video games that
not true.
He has not played. He just knows them really well because he's watched YouTube videos.
I have memorized it bit by bit.
When you and Caden were real little, you guys used to watch playthroughs all the time of all different video games.
Still do.
You still do.
I do.
So what was the first Fallout game that you played? Do you know?
Fallout New Vegas. New Vegas. Probably definitely a lot of people's favorite, and probably including mine as well, because of how like well written it is. Takes place in Nevada.
I was gonna say Vegas.
In Vegas, Las Vegas, now called New Vegas for obvious reasons, because it's a post-apocalyptic world, and you don't want to use Las Vegas anymore. Why not New Vegas? Because it's new.
So how many games are there?
Not counting like the
early ones.
Well, I count the early ones.
Counting the early ones.
Not counting like the sort of not knockoffs, but sort of, but like the ones that aren't canon. Probably like 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
How many do we have? Are these little ones that we have here behind us?
Yeah, 3. 2 of them are Fallout 4, but one's a Game of the Year edition.
Okay.
Apologies if you can hear the rain, because it's starting to rain right now.
So is there something different between them, or was it just the box?
One has more add-ons, like has all the DLC and such.
Oh, okay.
And the other one doesn't.
And then the other two?
Game of the Year Fallout 3 edition that also has all the DLCs, and then you have Fallout New Vegas. Yeah.
Which one is the one that takes place in Boston?
Fallout 4.
Why isn't that one up there? Could you find it?
That's right there.
Oh, Fallout 4. I didn't see it. Okay.
Those two right there.
Oh, okay.
Fallout 4.
So, I don't really know much about the video game itself, except for what I watch Walker and Caden play with the video game.
Yep.
So, sit in the living room, they playing the video games, I sitting over there, watching.
Doing your work and
doing my work or whatever, reading a book, scrolling through Facebook or whatever. Yeah. And I remember you being really excited when the Fallout 4 came out, because it was
taking place in Boston, and we're from Boston. We're from Quincy.
Yes, we live in Quincy, which also is in Fallout.
Quincy is indeed in Fallout 4.
Yes, but you grew up. We're just outside of Boston, and we're in Boston all the time.
Yeah,
I worked in Boston for 30 years. Mm-hmm. You have been in and out of Boston, so you recognized a lot of the locations.
Yes.
And
though it's very, very, this version of Boston is very, very different.
Well, of course it is, because of Fallout. So the thing, all right. So
you want to know the main reason why?
What?
Is because Fallout's timeline the Fallout's universe and our universe, they diverge at around the 1950s.
That's what I was going to say, because that's the point of Fallout, right?
Yep.
Is that a nuclear bomb went off, right? A nuclear war happened. There was a nuclear war, and what would happen if that happened? And so, what would happen to the world if that happened?
Yep.
So Boston, up until like the 50s, is that when you said it happened?
Yeah, the 1950s.
1950s, and then what would Boston be like after that? So a lot of times we would be looking at things, and I'm like, that thing isn't there.
Very different.
It's very different, right? Yeah. But I also remember your dad I think your dad said he'd heard an interview with the game makers, and that I think they were from Boston, or one of them lived in Boston.
One of them, I think, was from Boston.
So he knew a lot of different things. So there are a lot of there's a lot of Easter eggs, and it's Boston, right? But there's some special Easter eggs and stuff. But I'd be like, the Boston Commons isn't that close to such and such bridge or the North End or something like Boston, that. So they kind of like squeeze things.
Boston, the Fallout universe is much smaller than Boston in real life.
And then there's other places that they go to, right? Like they go up to Maine.
Yep.
They go to Quincy.
Quincy.
They come down here to Quincy.
Yeah, it's mainly.
What did you say? Quincy was a bad place, right?
Yes.
The Raiders are down in Quincy.
Gunners. Yes.
Gunners.
Technically, not Raiders, but hired mercenaries, essentially.
So it was a rough part of town.
It was a very rough part of town.
So I did like that one a lot, because like as I would just sit and watch it, there were things that I recognized. So that connected with me. But you guys, one of the things that Caden, so Walker's younger brother, someday may be on our podcast, we hope, because he has a lot of interests. He loved to just make like outposts, like
settlements.
That was his most favorite thing.
Oh
he could really care about less about everything else. Like he would just sit there for hours and hours and hours. Like, Mom, check out this settlement I made. This is where this is a diner. This is where they live.
Opposite of him. I can never figure out, nor can I really stand like settlement building. I'm just like, I want to go out there, explore.
You just want to explore.
I want to explore.
Meet the people and stuff like that.
Meet the
Hayden
people,
love just to make. I keep knocking him over.
Yeah, you do. That's okay.
Caden loved to make things. So that's like I guess I probably watched Caden more often because I was always fascinated with Caden building things. So yeah. I would be watching what he was making and that sort of thing. Yeah. But the story that I remember the most was, okay, so what I remember was there was this family, they're having dinner, somebody comes to the door.
More like breakfast.
So they're having a meal.
Takes place in
Some guy comes to the door, sells the guy something, they're watching a TV, and then the bomb goes off, and then they run out of the house, and they run to a fallout shelter.
A vault.
Fallout shelter. And so then they get into the shelter, and everybody's trying to get into the shelter, and they get into the shelter, and then they get cryo-freezed.
Yep, pretty much.
And then some time goes by, and one of the parents...
Some time goes by.
I don't know how much time, but one of the parents comes out of cryo-freeze. Now, the reason that one of the parents, it depends on who you're playing, because you get to make your own character.
Yep.
Right? Like, you get to choose the color of their hair and everything, right? Mm-hmm. So whoever you chose, the mother or the father, gets out of the vault, and then they're like, where am I? And they explore, and then they find their spouse, and the spouse is dead, right?
Yeah.
Typically, yes.
Moving on.
And then they're like, where's my baby? Because there was a baby.
Much, yeah.
And so then they get out of the vault, and they go and search for the baby. And then there was all these characters. I always remember when they go to Fenway Park.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, that's iconic, right?
That's where Diamond City is.
Yeah. So they go to Fenway Park and explore there and open drawers and talk to people and try to get clues and trying to find their kid.
It's a lot of fun.
They meet the ghouls, right? Yep. The ghoul person. And then I think that's pretty much where it kind of zoned out. Yeah. I'm sure there's more. I think eventually if I'm correct, they finally find their child, and the child's grown, right?
So the old man says.
So the old man says. So that's usually what I know about that. But that's the boss. That's Fallout 4.
That's Fallout 4.
I think I've seen a little bit of you playing Fallout New Vegas.
And 3.
And 3.
You've definitely seen me play 3.
Yeah, they all kind of blend at that point.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
Fallout New Vegas.
Fallout New Vegas. Why do you like Fallout New Vegas?
Just pretty much all like the story and such, because it was made by the developers that created Fallout 1 and 2, which was Obsidian. Bethesda created Fallout 3, 4, 76, as well as the show.
And so then there became a show.
Yes.
So, Walker, I guess what I'm interested in knowing is, since you know the game so well, and you were excited about the show, how do you feel? How does the show compare to the games for you?
I think it's amazing.
You like it?
Yeah,
you were happy with it.
I was absolutely thrilled with it. Like, especially like after the first episode, I knew I was just like, I think I'm gonna have a good time with this show.
Yeah, you liked it.
Yeah.
So
I need to go watch it again because that's how much I loved it.
Yeah. So people are always skeptical, like when we talked about Halo, same thing, right? Are they gonna, like, how true are they gonna stay to the storyline?
But this is a completely different story.
This is a completely different story, which is completely fine because all the games are very different. Like, Halo had Master Chief, and he was a certain person and people knew him, but the Fallout, it follows all different people in different situations, right? Different parts of the world.
Yeah.
So this is just another part of the world. There are some similarities, some things that you recognize.
Yes, but before we go anywhere, spoiler warning.
Spoiler.
Stop here if you haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
And if you do not want to be spoiled, stop now.
Stop now, because we're going to talk about it.
All right. Are they gone? All right, they're gone. Anyway, yes, Fallout show. Absolutely very, very faithful to, like, all the games. Like, well, mainly, like, faithful to basically what made the games iconic and unique and so, like, lovable to this day. They really knew what they were doing.
I find it interesting that you describe a game and a story that's about the apocalyptic, a nuclear war, and
the end of the world.
The end of the world, and he calls it lovable.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
They're very lovable.
You know what I mean.
These Ravengers and these ghouls and these crazy people.
Well, the humor in the story and such is just so like it's.
So that stays true to the game.
It does. Like basically everything stays true to the game.
So for me, watching you guys play the game, like I said, Caden would build settlements, right? And he was fascinated with that. And then there would be characters, and the characters were, to me, video game characters. There were the ghouls, and then there were zombies.
Ghouls.
I don't like zombies. I don't like zombies. There you go. Okay, put it down there. I don't like zombies, and I really hate it when people like flesh is like peeling and like
you can graphic stuff for that.
Anyway, I just so. And I was telling Walker before we started recording that back in the 10th grade, I read a story in my English class. It was called Alas, Babylon, and I was fascinated with that book. And it was a post-apocalyptic book, a nuclear war, and a bunch of people in the United States had to survive after that happened, right? How do you survive when the world ends? People were hoarding batteries and water and food, and how did you, like, all these things. And what fascinated me the most about it was how people like continued on, like how did they survive, how did they MacGyver things, right? So I loved the book for that. I do not believe there was any zombies in it, but I'm pretty sure there were people who probably had like nuclear radiation issues and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah,
that's always. But I do not like zombies. Did I mention I don't like zombies? So, watching the video game that comes along, undead, zombie-esque kind of.
It's not all about zombies.
It's not, but I'm just like, so that's kind of always turned me off. I didn't necessarily, because I wasn't listening to the game, I didn't always necessarily hear the humor, so I didn't really know the humor. However, looking at like the toys and stuff like that, like, so what is this little guy called?
Vault Boy.
The Vault Boy. It looked humor-esque, right? Like there was clearly like a surreal or like I don't know, pop culture-esque part of it. So that kind of intrigued me. I didn't understand who they were and what they were until the show. Sorry, the TV show. What is it on? Netflix? Amazon. Sorry.
Amazon Prime.
On Amazon Prime, and they
Prime
released.
Video, sorry.
They released them all at the same time.
Yep.
So you can just binge them. So that was my intro into really what was going on, like who the people were. So who were the ones who created the Vault? Vault-Tec. Who Vault-Tec is? I don't think I never paid attention to that in the video game.
I mean, they explore sort of. They don't really explore the creators of the Vault until the show came out.
Oh, really? So that's not really brought up in the
No, because basically in all the game.
I knocked him over again. I'm sorry.
Because where the games take place, they take place at the end of the world, and basically there's no Vault-Tec executives left.
Oh, so you don't go back in time, really. It's just that moment. Okay.
Yeah, the world's ended, and there's like. Yeah.
So the TV show, if you have not seen it yet, you shouldn't be watching this video. But they go into the details. They go in the backstory. You learn about how it all came to be,
which is really fascinating.
It is kind of fun and cool. There are some zombie-esque kind of things in the TV show, and they're not bad. I can deal with them.
Yeah.
They so the main goal.
Yeah.
I don't like he's charismatic.
He is.
So
he is.
You're like, okay, he's creepy looking and he's missing a nose and whatnot, but he's kind of cool,
Yeah. But I think,
and he has a story.
Yes, he does. But I think we should move past the ghouls. Let's talk about the other things.
The other things. All right. So this
I know you don't like zombies, and I know.
So now the thing about what I do like about post-apocalyptic stories are how people survive and what they have to do, how they jury rig stuff and put together and and build from the rubble that's left behind.
Yep.
So there's a lot of that happens in the TV show.
Lots
of that, right?
Yep.
Like, you know, like people make, like there's cars and what's that town? Philly, and it's basically like a big stack of cars and trucks and
old wreckage,
and they put it all together. And there's like all this stuff that's left behind and how people are reusing it and that sort of thing. But so I find all that fascinating, right? Like it's kind of like the Swiss Family Robinson. Like how if you're wrecked on a deserted island, how would you survive with just the wreckage that you have? And so I find that interesting.
Yeah.
The characters are really cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right, there are there's a lot of characters that I like in it. I like the writing. I like the acting. I like the story. There are a few characters that I am not fond of, but I'm not gonna critique or get into it. My favorite character, I think I remember I told you, is the woman in the pawn shop.
Oh.
Mama? Is that?
I think that's what they call it. I think that's what they call.
Ma?
I think that's
Mama?
what they Ma. Or something. That's what they call her.
I think she's my favorite. She was my favorite character. The other thing about the Fallout series is that I had said to Walker a while ago, I was like, I love the show. I can enjoy it, but there's moments where I go, that's not possible. That could never happen. People could never do that.
It's Fallout.
And then I think, this is just a video game, so I'm in. I'm all right.
It's a different universe.
Like the one guy that Lucy, right? Lucy's the main character. She is
one of the three main characters.
One of the three main characters. She is from one of the vaults. So what do they call them? Vault dwellers.
Vault dwellers.
She's a vault dweller. She's out back into the.
She's learning.
I'm learning. Yes. She goes out into the real world to find her father, who gets kidnapped.
Yep.
Okay.
Which is kind of if we have another Fallout episode, I will get into that.
So he gets kidnapped. She's trying to rescue him, and she's out and about. So she's wandering the beaches of California, because this one takes place in California.
In Los Angeles.
Angeles. And she's wandering along the beach, and there's a house on the beach. Well, there are, right? I've been to LA. There's plenty of houses on the beach. One remains, though. Just one house. Why does this one house remain? Did people tear down the rest of the houses? I don't know. Anyway, there's a guy standing there, and he's trying to get water out of some contraption that he has created. And he's like all tattered, and thunder.
Anyway.
He's all tattered, he's all dried out, because he's on the beach. He's on a sandy beach.
Yep.
And there's no fresh water to be found.
Nope.
Right? Because that's one of the problems, right? Everything is kind of is nuclear waste.
Yeah.
So everything has to be treated or whatnot. So he has some sort of contraption, and he's trying to get water out. And Lucy comes by to ask, hey, can you tell me how to get to Philly? I think she knew where she was going.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm trying to find my father. And he's just like, I can't seem to get water out of this contraption. And she's like, have you tried putting water in it? And he's pouring sand into the contraption.
There is no water.
There is no water. And so I'm thinking, how long has this guy been without water? Because a human cannot live very long without water.
No.
Like not very long.
No.
And so how long has this guy been going on without water that he's been putting sand into some contraption? So those sort of things make me go, this is unrealistic. Like, if he was living in this environment, he would have never gotten to this age. That all being said, it's a video game. And video games aren't real.
And these video games have never really taken themselves seriously. Yeah. They've always been humorous and such, and they've never really taken themselves seriously. So
then I click that off and I say, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. You know, and then when they come across that that looks like what used to be a supermarket or a
Super Duper Mart.
The Super Duper Mart, and the guys that are in there, and I'm like, how's this Super Duper Mart still standing, right? And having like running refrigerators, and so it's just there's just certain things that make me go, what? But then I say, it's a video game.
You'd be surprised on how smart people are after the apocalypse.
I know, but they also I'm not even gonna get into it anyway. It's a fun. I like the show. I hope they continue the show. I'm eager. Oh, that's right. You said that.
Season 2.
I'm enjoying it. I want to see what happens to the characters.
Yeah.
I'm invested.
Yeah.
So, but as a video game player of Fallout, you're happy with the transition?
I'm very, very happy with it, and I'm ecstatic for season 2 because that's how much I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Like everything to the Brotherhood, to the NCR that are the New California Republic, and the reveal at the end of Hank McClane getting to a suit of T-60 power armor and heading off to Nevada to New Vegas, where the big man himself, Mr. House, who was shown in that conference room, is supposed to be relocated.
So there's characters that you recognize from the game.
Yes, but New Vegas looks a lot different compared to how you see it in New Vegas. It's a lot more ruined, like a lot more ruined, because I mean it's been like I think it's been well over 10 years since because New Vegas takes place in 2281, and this show is taking place 219 years after the world ends, and it might be.
We're gonna pause for a second. So
anyway,
New Vegas
takes place in 2281, and this series in the Fallout show takes place 219 years after the world ends, which means that it's been close, if not a little over a decade since the end of Fallout New Vegas. And because Fallout, each Fallout game has tons of has 4 different endings for each of them, we don't, besides Fallout 1, we don't know what the chronologically we don't know how each game ends unless it's Fallout 1.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So
as far as we know, I mean, in the ending credits of the season finale, New Vegas is shown to be a total ruin with Securitrons and Fallout and NCR vertibirds and such, all in ruin and such. So something happened, and season 2 of Fallout, since we're heading to New Vegas, is going to have to answer what ending is canon to the end of Fallout New Vegas.
But yeah, so there might be some stuff that's from Fallout New Vegas that you'll recognize from the movie in the next season.
Yes, there will. Considering where we're headed and considering what we've seen so far, we are most definitely going to see a lot of familiar places and maybe some familiar faces as well. I don't entirely know, considering on how New Vegas is looking these days. It doesn't look good.
So one of the things that I keep asking Walker as we were watching the show is so are they the good guys? Or are those the good guys? And one of the things about this story is that I feel like there's not who the good guy. They may not even be a good guy, really. There are people out there who are trying to do good things, right? Lucy is trying to help her dad.
She's a good. She's trying to find her dad. She's a good person.
She's a good person. She was raised in a certain way with a certain belief, and she's doing what she believes is the right thing, and she loves her dad, and she was trying to rescue her dad.
Yep.
Then she discovers some things. We're not going to give all the spoilers away, but she discovers some things, and now she's questioning that.
Yep.
Right? And then, who's the guy, the kid who's with the Brotherhood?
Maximus.
He seems to have
conflicted
with the Brotherhood of Steel. What was he looking for in life, and what he thought the Brotherhood of Steel was, and what it stood for, and how does he feel about it now? Me as a viewer, I'm like, who's the Brotherhood of Steel, and are they the good guys or the bad guys?
I think the show gives enough to the viewer on what the Brotherhood stands for. The Brotherhood, they're very hard on each other, and all they really seek is technology for themselves, because the cold fusion that that happens at the end of season 1, now that the NCR, I guess NCR Moldaver's crew is gone, they now have control of the cold fusion. That is exactly what the Brotherhood stands for. They want to take control of
in the video game, is the Brotherhood of Steel bad guys or good guys?
Fallout 3, they're the good guys. Fallout 4, they are technically the bad guys.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so in some ways they're good, in some ways they're bad. Like,
yes.
Right. And then the people who Vault Tech, were they the good guys or the bad guys?
No, they're the bad.
I think they're bad guys, but they would say they were trying to save humanity.
They argue about it.
And then who else? There's another. Oh, so the my goodness, the people who kidnapped Lucy's dad.
Yeah.
Good guys, bad guys.
The Raiders at the beginning, they're Raiders. Raiders will always be
bad.
Well, they will always be the bad guys. Moldaver's like crew in general, which I assume has like former NCR like remnants in them, which they claimed to sort of be the good guys, but they were just like a whole other like government group that were filled with like corrupt politicians and such. All they really wanted was for people of Los Angeles and possibly the whole entire country itself to have working power again, and they succeed in that.
They seem like the good guys at the end.
Yes.
And then the Republic. Who's it?
The NCR.
Yeah. Are they good guys, bad guys?
See, that's where that's what I was just saying. Is that New Vegas? They try to claim that they're the good guys, but they're the NCR in New Vegas. They're spread too thin, and they always want to expand their power, and they're always filled with corruption and such, and soldiers are just following orders and such. But yeah, like there will always be corruption in a government.
So it's never clear, but I guess that's the way the world is, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. Sometimes,
especially in a post-apocalyptic world, it's hard to tell who are the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. So, as a game, you enjoy it because
I enjoy it.
You like the story. You like the characters. You like the graphics.
I just love exploring. Yeah, the graphics, exploring, and also at times when you're not in combat, peaceful. It's just you and yourself
wandering
around.
And I think the TV show kind of captures that a little bit.
It does.
Like the times when Lucy's and Maximus are kind of wandering the world.
Yeah.
So I think they capture that. It doesn't go on for too long, but I think they kind of get that sense.
You wanted to talk about the music.
The music, that's the other big part of Fallout, because Walker is obsessed with the music.
Yeah.
But you really love that music, and that's kind of introduced you to other kinds of music.
Yeah.
It's old-timey music.
It's old-timey music. Like the original music that they composed for this series is absolutely phenomenal, and so are the rest of like the Fallout games. Like other like composed music is amazing, but I'm a sucker for the DJs and the DJ radios that
I do like that the music isn't just like background music.
Yeah.
It's music in the environment. Like the people are hearing, the characters in the show are hearing that music.
Yeah. It's always that old timey music from the 50s to the 60s and such.
So Walker's really, he's always asking me, can I download that song onto my phone?
it's I think it was really Fallout that sort of gave me that sort of like, because when I started to listen to, especially New Vegas's radio with iconic songs like Big Iron and by Marty Robbins and like Jingle Jangle and such. I forget.
Did they play Elvis in that? Is that where you discovered Elvis? Or is it just that stemmed from it once you... Because Walker is also a big Elvis fan.
Yes.
So did they play Elvis on the soundtrack?
No, because I remember correctly, because I believe that they wanted to put an Elvis song in it, but they realized that it was just way too
expensive.
Way too expensive, considering that
it does fit the vibe.
It does fit the vibe, but like Elvis, like considering how expensive it would be, I don't blame them for not like sort of like renting one of Elvis's iconic songs and putting it in the game, because that would have just taken a lot of their budget away for an iconic game. But there are Elvis impersonators
in the game
in Fallout New Vegas.
So is that how you were introduced to Elvis impersonators?
Sort of, but also it was thanks to Baz Luhrmann's Elvis movie with Austin Butler and such. Yeah.
So, anything else? Yeah, I love the music. I love the characters. I like the music in the TV, the video games as well. But that Walker would download the music and he listens to it, like just around the house and that sort of thing. So I like that old timey music too.
Yeah.
But anything else you want to share?
I don't think so, but I think all I want to say is that I'm very stoked for Fallout Season 2 and really excited to see where the story is going to continue, because when I saw New Vegas during that like sort of post-credit scene, I was so hyped because I know where exactly the story is headed and I know exactly what is there as well.
Well, we'll see if it ends up being what you believe is there.
I believe I know what's going to be there.
Well, sometimes they deviate from the game a little bit.
They do deviate from the game a little bit, but I think I know what the writers and producers, I think I know what they're doing and where they know that the story is headed.
Well, I look forward to seeing it as well. I'll continue to watch you.
Why can't it come any faster?
I'll continue to watch Walker play video games from the armchair. Caden, I don't think has really been much into Fallout though everything back here.
He was playing Fallout when I went upstairs.
So he's playing it on his video game, on his computer.
He plays it all the time whenever. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't play it down here on the Xbox, so I don't watch him build his little settlements.
If anything, he has more freedom
to build the settlements,
like with his computer, because he can download more like mods and such for that. But I can't. Like on the Xbox, I can't do that. So if anything, he has more freedom than I do, which is okay. Which I really don't mind.
So 2 things. I'm not a big fan of playing video games. I'm a fan of video games. I'm just not a fan of playing video games, and I'm not a fan of zombies. So my experience with those are fairly limited. My video game experience is just watching others play it. Sometimes I follow along and pay attention to what's going on. Sometimes it's just background noise. And zombies I try to avoid at all costs. However, there's been recent things like Fallout and The Last of Us, which will be another episode another time, that I deal with the zombies.
So, no Walking Dead episode?
No Walking Dead. You know what? Here's the deal. If you want to do a Walking Dead episode, maybe you can find somebody else who is a Walking Dead fan. Maybe Dad. No?
I mean,
he hasn't watched enough of it?
He hasn't really watched enough of it.
Oh, they're by the way, they're shooting Walking Dead on the other side of the state in
Randolph, I think.
In Worcester.
Worcester.
I just saw it on the news. Anyway, Walker could have been a zombie.
I could have, but I chose not to.
I'm glad you were a zombie.
What's that supposed to mean?
Because I would have to watch it and see you as a zombie.
I know you'd have to watch me on TV. Then you'd be heartbroken that you're
Have I mentioned that I don't like zombies?
I think you've made that abundantly clear in this episode.
All right. So that was our take, my experience and Walker's experience with Fallout.
Yeah.
Walker has more experience than I do, but my experience with the TV show, highly recommended. 5 stars.
Yeah.
All right. So when we come back, we will do our ChatPak Star Wars question. Stay tuned. We're back, and now we're going to answer our Star Wars ChatPak conversation cards. And Walker checked because it's been a few weeks since we've done our last episode. Hope you watched it. It was our Star Wars Celebration episode. It was very long, but lots of information. So anyway, Walker gets to choose. So you're choosing from this section. Pick a card, any card.
Creatures. Okay. Minox ingests energy from power cables. Do you have any favorite late night snacks? Ooh, that's a good one.
Let me read it again. Minox ingests energy from power cables. Do you have any late night snacks? There's a connection. I know I was having this conversation with my physical therapist a couple weeks ago. He had this question up on a whiteboard in their space, and they said salty snacks or sweet snacks, and I said I can't choose between them because I like a salty sweet. Like I would like a trail mix that has like chocolate and like Chex Mix kind of mixed in. I like both sweet and salty. What do you usually eat at night? Do you eat anything? Right now, mandarin oranges.
Mandarin oranges, but also I eat like I try to eat some sweet stuff, but also like I like my chips as well.
You're a big chip person.
I'm a big chip person, especially when it comes like to the end of the day for some reason.
Yeah. Your Doritos, nachos. You used to use barbecue chips. That used to be your snack.
Yeah.
You haven't really been into those lately.
I mean,
I think it's time for some late night snacks.
I think it's time for some dinner. More like
Dinner, it's true.
It is.
Yes, you do have to eat. So thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
I hope maybe you can let us know what your favorite late night snack is.
Yeah.
And what do folks need to do?
They need to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Indeed. And also remember to follow us on our Instagram page, myexperience.yourexperience. And that we have lots of fun content there and give you updates of when next episodes are coming.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.